business, sports, culture and the arts. You're watching PBC Jamaica.
It's Tuesday, January 16. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. A public forum to examine alternative approaches to the current public sector wage negotiations will be held on Monday, January 22 at the Hugh Lawson Shearer Trade Union Education Institute on the campus of the University of the West Indies, Mona. According to the head of the institute, Danny Roberts, the forum will seek to come up with some practical steps to take in ensuring that the country avoids the pitfalls of a conjunctive bargaining approach, which could derail the current economic program. He says the forum aims to provide a framework to address the current wage negotiations and to ensure that such a framework can result in creating value and mitigating harm in the future. 34 of the 36 children housed at the Walker's Place of Safety on Lyndhurst Crescent in Kingston have been moved to a temporary holding facility at a nearby church after fire destroyed the premises early this morning. The Education Ministry says 2 of the children at the privately owned facility are yet to be accounted for. State Minister for Education, Floyd Green, said the agency will be communicating with the parents of the unaccounted-for children. As at news time, the cause of the fire is still unknown. The Walker's Place of Safety serves as a transitional residence for children generally up to 12 years old who have been abandoned or removed from their homes because of unstable conditions. Jamaica's disaster recovery capacity just got stronger. This with the recent training of 80 public sector disaster professionals in post-disaster assessment. The training was coordinated by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, boosted by grant funding from the Caribbean Development Bank. The risk management professionals will help the state to accurately assess the economic, social and environmental impact and inform recovery efforts. The Health Ministry seeks to strengthen the island's vector control mechanism this year by piloting a sterile mosquito project. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton gave details as he recently opened the Mosquito Control and Research Unit at the University of the West Indies, Mona.
Under the Mosquito Control Research Unit, the Government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Health, will be participating in the IAEA regional project entitled Strengthening Regional Capacity in Latin America and the Caribbean for Integrated Vector Management Approaches for a Sterile Insect Technique component to control Aedes aegypti mosquito as vectors.
Several Caribbean countries will participate in the vector control pilot, which will form part of the ministry's 2018 agenda. Member of Parliament for North Central St. Catherine, the PMP's Natalie Nita, formerly Natalie Headley, is facing assault charges. She is currently the opposition spokesman on sports and former cabinet minister. According to the Nita Headley's attorney, Sean Kinghorn, she defended herself after being attacked. The matter reportedly took place last week, Monday. It's reported that Ms. Nita was charged last Wednesday in relation to a matter concerning Kevin Buchanan, who was formerly an employee of the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica. The report added that Ms. Nita serves in the capacity as a consultant in human resource management for the company. Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwestern, Derek Smith, has tendered his resignation from the Andrew Holness cabinet. Smith, in a letter to Prime Minister Holness dated January 11, 2018, said that it is also his intention to resign as Member of Parliament for the constituency he has held for 29 years. The 74-year-old Smith, who was minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, said that after 38 years as a parliamentarian and 29 years as MP for the seat now considered a safe one for the governing Jamaica Labour Party, he thinks it is time that the constituency is exposed to a new generation of leadership. In regional news, 2 police officers and several, quote, terrorists, end quote, have been killed in an operation to capture a helicopter pilot accused of leading an armed rebellion in Venezuela last year. According to the BBC, Venezuelan forces surrounded a house in the town of El Juanito, near the capital Caracas, as they targeted the cell linked to pilot Oscar Perez. The authorities said they have arrested 5 people who they accuse of being part of a criminal group. It is unclear what became of Mr. Perez. Prominent government member Diosdado Cabello tweeted that Mr. Perez had opened fire on police. Mr. Perez was wanted after he used a stolen helicopter to throw grenades at government buildings on June 27, 2017. In footage posted on social media on Monday, Mr. Perez said he had offered to turn himself in, but that he believed authorities were initially trying to kill him rather than negotiate his surrender. He ended the video, which he uploaded to the photo-sharing site Instagram, with a message from the people of Venezuela, who he urged not to lose hope. Antigua and Barbuda is trying to find out how it can improve the standards of its citizenship by using investment program CIP to convince Canada to remove visa requirements for citizens of the Twin Island nation. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has written to his Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau about the matter. We have more in this report.
In a swift response, Prime Minister Brown has invited the Canadians to review the local CIP and make recommendations. Trudeau, who was responding to a question at a town hall meeting in Ontario, Canada, said Antigua's CIP did not have the level of stringency and analysis to satisfy Canada's high standards for border control and security. He added, Canada is happy to work with Antigua to ensure the CIP meets the required standards. Prime Minister Brown says while this country already has a very intense vetting system with 4 levels of stringent screening, he welcomes Canada's assistance in bolstering the security of the program.
In sports, West Indies will go ahead with Nemesis Ireland in their quest to reach the ICC 2019 Cricket World Cup after being installed in Group A of the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe starting March. The 2-time champions will play alongside the dangerous Irish, with the Netherlands and Papua New Guinea also included in the preliminary group. The winners of the ICC World Cricket League Division 2 tournament involving Canada, Kenya, Nambia, Nepal, Oman and the United Arab Emirates will decide the last side in the group for the March 4 to 25 qualifying tournament. And that's the news. The weather report follows. This is PBCJ's weather report. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Let's start, as usual, with our local currents. In Kingston right now, it's just about 28 degrees Celsius, and we're seeing a forecast of some rainfall for this afternoon going into this evening. We're seeing that the temperature is set to go down to just about 22 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for Kingston. We're seeing that we're going to get some sunshine tomorrow, but there's a 20% chance of rainfall for certain areas. And we're also seeing that that percentage goes up going into the weekend. We're also seeing an average temperature between 22 and 29 degrees Celsius. Over there in Montego Bay, St. James, we're seeing a forecast of rainfall throughout the day. And we're also seeing an average temperature between 22 and 27 degrees throughout the day. But that temperature is set to go down to just about a cool 10 degrees Celsius this evening. In our 7-day forecast for Montego Bay, we're seeing a 50% chance of rainfall in certain areas for today. And we're also seeing that that goes down to 20% tomorrow, but that goes up as we go into the weekend. It should be pretty cloudy on Friday, but on Saturday we could get some scattered showers, so ensure that you plan accordingly for your weekend. We're also seeing an average temperature for Montego Bay St. James between 22 and 27 degrees Celsius. In our forecast high temps today, we're looking at a high at 31 degrees Celsius, and that's scored over there in Black River, St. Elizabeth, and a low of 27 degrees Celsius over in the eastern end of the island. Across the island today, we can expect rainfall across most parishes, and we should also expect an average temperature between 27 and 31 degrees Celsius. Tonight, we can expect low temperatures between 21 and 23 degrees Celsius across the island. We should also expect some cloudy conditions in certain areas and scattered showers in the hilly inland areas and the northern end of the island. Tomorrow, we can expect an average temperature between 27 and 30 degrees Celsius forecast for tomorrow. We're also seeing sunshine for Maypen, Clarendon, and the eastern end of the island as well. It should be pretty sunny over there in Negril. In our forecast today across the Caribbean, we're expecting an average temperature between 24 and 28 degrees Celsius. And there is a weather system moving across the region, so we're seeing rainfall forecast for today across most countries in the region. In our forecast for tomorrow, for those who are traveling, you can expect warm temperatures between 23 and 27 degrees Celsius. We're expecting some cloudy conditions across the region, and we're going to get rainfall over there in Campeche, Mexico. And in our travel planner, we're seeing a minimum temperature -4 degrees for New York with a high at 1 degree Celsius. It's going to be snowing in New York. Cloudy conditions forecast tomorrow for Miami and Los Angeles as well, but you should be getting some sunny skies in that area. A maximum temperature of 24 degrees Celsius is forecast for Miami. And that's it for the weather report. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.